Hey everyone, Midits here. I always had this question in the back of my mind. What years does the Diary of a Wimpy Kid story take place in? Now, using the books, we're going to try and figure this out, and by the end, we'll have a full Diary of a Wimpy Kid timeline. Also, an important thing you should know, I'm not going to be talking about the Rowley books, because it's pretty much impossible to know exactly when these take place in the timeline. So if you want to know generally when they take place, it's anytime after the first book. And yeah, that's pretty vague, but that's all you get in those books. Now first, let's start with year 1. Now, a lot of videos have said this, but if you don't know, the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book for sure takes place in 2007. That's because a lot of the holidays in the book, as well as the first day of school, perfectly match up with the 2007 calendar. So we immediately know that the first book takes place in that year, except it also takes place in year 2 because the book starts in September of 2007 and ends in June of 2008, which means we're now in year 2. In year 2, there's only one more book, which is Roderick Rules. We know this as the book starts in September and ends in December before the next year begins. And yeah, the timeline's looking pretty simple. It's just like one book every year, but then it just starts spiraling out of control. Now in 2009, there are 4 books. The Last Straw, which takes place from January to June, Dog Days, which takes place from June to August, The Ugly Truth, which takes place from September to November, and lastly, Cabin Fever, which takes place from November to December. So yeah, Jeff Kinney probably realized that the series was getting really popular, and he was going through the entirety of middle school insanely fast. So the amount of time that each book takes place in started getting shorter and shorter. And you could definitely tell that when we reach the next year, 2010. And now, this probably isn't a surprise, but time keeps moving slower. The year starts with the third wheel, which goes from January to February. Then Hard Luck went from March to April. The Long Haul only lasts 1 month, being June. Old School goes from September to October. Double Down goes from October to November. And The Getaway, similar to The Long Haul, only lasts 1 month, being December. 2 years passed from 2007 to 2009. And in that time, there were 2 books. In the next 2 years, from 2009 to 2011, there were 10 books. That's crazy. Anyway, let's head on to 2011. Now, you'd probably be safe to assume that in 2011, things would be moving just as slow as they were before, and it definitely does look like that, with The Meltdown taking place from January to February, Wrecking Ball, which actually does go through a lot more time than the past few books have, going from March through June. Things slow down once more with The Deep End, which only goes through August. And then there's Big Shot, which goes through September through November. And now this year is actually kind of surprising because things move a lot faster than they did before the year prior. Because so far, we've only talked about 4 books instead of the 6 there were last year. And now we're reaching the final book, Diaper Overload, which gives you a real surprise. The book starts in December and ends all the way in April, meaning that now we're in the year 2012. Now we have finally made it to the end. So this means that the whole Diary of a Wimpy Kid series spans 5 years from 2007 to 2012. And here I even constructed a little timeline for you to see how everything matches up. It's interesting to see how things really started to speed up in the final few books, and I wonder if that's going to continue happening in the next books in the near future. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. This was a fun one to make, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't forget to check out the videos on screen. Okay, see you guys.